afternoon. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with the rest of the Spanish ration. I can't even remember which one it was because I had already ditched the bag and I threw that trash out. But I'm going to wait for a few more to come in before I start busting into this. But I have all of the food except for the vitamin C, those powders, and I'm going to substitute this Canadian orange sports drink for the drink, and the only food item missing is the sardines, which I ate with the Spanish ration that this drink came out of, because the Canadian ration had the main stolen by customs, those thieving idiots. But so I just have the rest. I have the main, I have the pate, I have the fruit cocktail, and I have the vegetable soup. And this packet does look a little weird, but this had all that fuel tablet residue all over it. I had to clean it up after I opened this ration and the Canadian one, because the fuel tablet busted out of its packaging, and that was one hot mess. Hello, old as dirt. So I already have some water on the stove that's warm. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up so it'll get boiling. The Canadian ration was supposed to be macaroni and beef. That was the main that was taken out by customs, and that was a freebie sent to me by foreignmre.com when I ordered this ration and this Lithuanian ration, which I'll review probably next week. But they had a whole bunch of items taken out of the Canadian rations by customs. I don't know if they were just hungry or what, but oh boy, were they a bunch of thieving idiots. It happened with a bunch of their French rations that they had that got raided, with the mains taken out, and they sold some of those at a discount, or they've been giving them away as prizes. So but these green cans are very hard to read, but this has like a, it's a meat with rice and onions and other seasonings. So what I'm going to do is, this will go into my pot that's on the stove, and I will use the water from that pot to make the soup. And because I want to show what the soup looks like, I've done hot drinks in my drinking jar before, so I'll put the soup in here and I'll mix the cold drink in here. And then I have a fruit cocktail and I have pate. I do not have any biscuits or crackers. If I had some of the pan galleta, which are issued separately to Spanish soldiers, I could have used some of that for the pate, but the pate has pimentos in it, so that should be interesting to look at. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the hot water to get that heated up, and I'll be right back. I am back. I have it in hot water, and I do want to use boiling water to make this soup. I could have cheated and used my coffee maker to heat up water, but I'd rather have boiling water for the soup. So I think I'll go ahead and wait for a few others to show up. I have my chat on my computer. That's how I will be reading the chat, as I've done before, because it's just easier. Because though I have my phone mounted, it is horizontal, and I don't want to have to look up and try to read that tiny text on that screen. And I really can't respond that way, so if I want to type a response, I'll just type it on my computer. But hopefully others will join me soon. ForeignMRE.com Sport. I love this thing. I bought another one when I bought an ammo can gift box, but that is going to be a gift for someone. I don't know if it's, if it's a meat issue. You think they would be raiding more rations and taking all the meat items out, or maybe they were just hungry. I don't know. But yeah, it is very, very annoying when customs raids packages like that and just keeps all the goodies for themselves. But having this one definitely made it easy to substitute that main by taking the sardines out of here and putting it with the Canadian rations. So that's why I did that. Yeah, and I want to all those who just came in. What I'm doing is I'm doing a review of the remains of the Spanish ration that I opened up when I opened up the Canadian ration that had the main taken out. And instead of using those vitamin C hydration powders, I took the second orange sports drink from the Canadian ration as my drink for here. And my main, which is beef and rice, is on the stove heating up. And the reason why this soup packet looks the way it does is because when I opened up the Spanish ration, one of the fuel tablets had busted out of its packaging and crumbled, and it just got all over everything, and I had to clean it all off. And because this is a paper exterior, it was harder to clean off, but it is foil lined, so I'm not too concerned about the contents being compromised. But this just looks really nasty because of that residue from that fuel tablet, and I had to do that with everything in that ration, and I just got rid of that box, or I got rid of the bag. The box is still good, so I just stored these in here. So the beef and rice is as I said, on the stove. I have a fruit cocktail. I have a liver pate with pimento, and this is a vegetable soup. So what I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and open this, and I'm going to make the soup in my drinking jar because it is clear, and I want to really show the soup for what it looks like. So there are bits of vegetables in there, seasonings. It looks like a chicken bouillon. And I'm going to go ahead and pour the orange sports drink into my glass. I got some water here. Give this a mix. It is definitely orange, as you can see. Actually, I'm going to move this back. There, I'll put this in the center. It looks like a clear version of Tang. There is that. I'm going to go ahead and open the pate. I thought the pimento bits would be bigger, but I can barely see just tiny specks of the seasonings that are in there. So I'll leave that in a can. And now this is a fruit cocktail. I've had this before in some other Spanish rations. So that is what it looks like. The fruit looks a little dark, but this is a 2018 ration. I'm going to go ahead and pour this right here. Wow, I got blessed with the cherries today. Oop, my stupid phone. Scammer. Typical. So there is the fruit cocktail. There's a little bit that doesn't belong. Oh, that's a seed. So I got quite a few cherries, more than you get with the fruit cocktail here in the States in the store. So when I get the main, I will dump it out here, but I'll leave the pate in the can. I'm gonna check the chat. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Jerry. I'm doing a live stream of a ration review. I have what's left of a Spanish lunch or dinner ration. The sardines, I took that out and put that with a Canadian ration that I had the main stolen by customs. So that one was supposed to be macaroni and beef. But because customs took that pouch out, I got the rest of the ration, but not the macaroni and beef, which I wanted to try. I might have to buy that ration if it's still available that has that main on it, because I would like to try that one. But that one had a Snickers bar, full-size Snickers bar, which is awesome. Yes, it is. It's a Spanish military ration. And a lot of their food comes in cans like this. And it had this is a vegetable soup, which I will be adding the hot water to. I have the beef with rice in a pot on the stove heating up, and then I'm going to use the hot water from that to mix the soup in here. I'm doing it in my drinking jar because I want to show what that looks like. And I think it should be done right now because I turned that up to boiling, so I'll be right back. There is the main, but I went to get the water and it all boiled away, so I'm putting some more water in there to heat that up. But I'm going to let this can cool a little bit before I open it up, because it's going to be darn hot. While I wait for that water to heat up, I grabbed a towel so I can hold the can. But I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of this pate. And this is, it's a little chunky. It's not smooth like you would think of a pate. Almost like a luncheon meat. It just tastes like, if you ever heard of like Braunschweig or something like that, but not as strong. Oh, there is a tiny piece of pimento. Oops. See that red spot? That is a pimento right there. So there's tiny, tiny pieces of it. Can't really taste it, but I can definitely taste that it is liver. I'm going to there's a cherries. Got lots of cherries in this fruit cocktail. Typical fruit cocktail. Nothing special, but the fruit does look a little dark. It's still got the typical flavor, but there's grapes, peaches, pears, and the maraschino cherries. And the pineapple. I just bit a piece of pineapple. And I'm going to try to very carefully open this can. There is a lot of liquid in here. Oh, it's meatballs. That's what that is. It's meatballs. I might actually just leave this in the can. Okay, there's peas. I've had this made before, but this seems to have rice in it. But there's huge meatballs. I'm breaking one in half so I can get look at the inside. No, maybe I'll dump it out. I think it'll be better if I just dump it out. I'll have an oily mess on the tray, but that's okay. Oop. Oh well. A pea went into my pate. Okay, my water should be heated up for the soup, so I'm going to get rid of these cans, and I'll come back with the soup. Oh, okay, sorry about that. There we go. This is what the soup looks like. It's called for 200 mils of water. And see there are chunks of vegetables, croutons. I'm going to give this a taste. Yep, that's croutons. There's herbs and seasonings in here. That looks like a piece of meat. But it's just a clump of the seasonings. I got all bunched together, so I'm just going to let that sit. Let's see, where's that? This is what the meatball looks like. It's a beef meatball. Oh, it actually has rice in the meatballs. And they're a typical meatball. I guess they choose to use rice as a binding agent. Dang it, my browser crapped out. I'm bringing that back up on my computer, so if I missed any chat because of that, I apologize. Hello, James Ortiz. You must have snuck in when my browser had crashed. So, this is a Spanish lunch or dinner ration. I've actually had this made before. It's beef meatballs with peas, and this is a pate with pimentos. The last time I had this, there was a different one, and when I poured the meatballs out onto the tray, a little bit of the broth splashed on the pate. Who knows, maybe that might be good. Didn't add any real flavor, but the bits of pimento, the red bits, are very, very tiny, very hard to see in this. I do not have any crackers or biscuits, so I'll just eat this right out of the can. Another close-up one of the peas. The peas are quite soft. They're almost to the point of being mush, and there are not very many peas in there. But the meatballs are easy to cut in half, especially with my 4nmre.com spork. Oh, they put pretty good sized meatballs in here. So this is my lunch. have a fruit cocktail over here that had more, I have to get this in frame more, sorry. I probably need to readjust my phone mount. But I actually have more maraschino cherries. I ate 2 of the cherries already, but there are more maraschino cherries in this 200-gram can of fruit cocktail than you get in a typical 15-ounce can of fruit cocktail here in the States. The syrup is a typical cocktail syrup. Sweet, but this fruit is a little dark. The peaches are a little dark, the pineapple's a little dark, the pears are a little dark. But other than that, you know, it tastes good. So I'll check the chat. I have to look at the chat on my computer because my phone is literally horizontal and it's hard for me to see the screen, the tiny text on the screen, and I can't respond that way if I want to type a link. So if I want to drop a link or anything in the chat, I'll do that on my computer. Not really old as dirt. The cans, it depends on the country. They may use different sizes. I haven't had too many rations that are completely can based. Some of them have the foil pan type, like the Russian one, or the French mains are typically the big oval cans. I have 2 French RCIR videos up, and if you look at those, or anyone else has reviewed the RCIR, the big oval cans that are probably about, say, from like these, like all the way across here would be the width, or the length of the French oval cans. That's how big their mains are. They are 300 grams. And a lot of them use the retort pouches like a U.S. rations. But I haven't had a whole lot of rations that are can-based besides the French, these Spanish. Although I've had some nuts, canned nuts in rations, as well as bagged or vacuum packed nuts in a pouch, but not too many cans. So, and that's a meatball. I do like these meatballs, but there's a whole lot of broth here, and not very many peas. But what I should have done is gotten a piece of bread, since I don't have any crackers to sop up this broth with. Yeah, Spanish soldiers are issued separately a package of biscuits called pan galleta. And it literally translates to cookie bread, but they are not very sweet. They're bland, so they would take on any flavor that you would add to them. Say, if I had some of those pan galletas, I would put this pate on it, but I don't mind eating it out of a can. When I had this last time, I had the pan galleta, and I used some of them for breakfast and some of them for this, the pate that I had with that other Spanish ration that had this meatballs with peas. And this soup has little croutons in it. So it's basically an herb. It's a vegetable flavored bouillon with these little tiny croutons. But I do want to try other rations. The German ration, the civilian single meal EPA I did, that one had a foil pack main, and it had the can of bread, and I have that can. I saved that can because it has a really cool picture on it. I took the label off, but that was a really cool can. So this is a Canadian orange drink, which I nipped from the Canadian ration, which I last reviewed. Substituting this for those vitamin C powders, which are more like a hydration salt than a real drink powder. Some people might just knock the powder back straight and then drink some water. Others might mix it into a drink, but I decided that I'm going to have the other orange sports drink with this one. And when I bust open that Lithuanian ration that I bought at the same time I bought the Spanish ration, that'll be a complete meal because I don't have to add anything to it because it was never rated by customs. So the meat that's in there, I'm going to be able to eat that because it is there. It didn't get filched by customs. Hello, Prep4. Welcome to my ration review. For those that are just joining me, I have the Spanish lunch or dinner ration, beef meatballs with a few peas. This is a liver pate with tiny, tiny bits of pimento. It's not quite as smooth as other pates, but there is a tiny, tiny fleck of the red pimento there. I don't know if you can see that. My phone doesn't like to focus very well. But, and the fruit cocktail. And this vegetable soup, which I'll just drink. That's the easiest way to handle these things. See, those floating things are little croutons. This is a bit salty, and I knew it would, so I probably added a little more water than what was necessary to cut down the saltiness. That's the only problem with these bouillons is they are so dang salty. So, sometime next week I'll do the Lithuanian ration that I bought at the same time. I got this from Foreign MRE. And after I finish this stream and it processes, I'm going to put the link to Foreign MRE, the website, foreignmre.com. And I put the link to their YouTube channel since they not only do unboxings when they get new stock. And Nina put up one not too long ago where she showed unboxing of a bunch of Chinese rations, including the emergency food bars, which they got a whole case full of them, and they got some more type 13 rations with the retort pouches and those killer ration heaters that take off like a rocket. So if you want, if you haven't tried any foreign rations, I would check out foreignmre.com. I'm hoping that they get some more rations from other countries they haven't either had for a long time or they've never had. But yeah, I will put the link to their website in the description when this video processes. Yep, Fusion MRE. Not the first to do it. Michael Green over in England sometimes takes unused ration components that he keeps in a box, mixes them together to create meals, combining them with other ingredients that he has in his kitchen to make meals or desserts that he actually serves to his family, and they get to taste test it, and yeah, that's really fun to watch it when he does that. So Michael Green is a really cool guy to check out. And earlier today I watched a new reviewer, Mems MREs. She is also in England, and what she's been doing is she will open up a 24-hour ration and open everything up and taste it, and then of course she saves what she doesn't eat for later. You know, she'll finish it off later. Kind of like what Nathan's MRE, when he opens up a 24-hour ration, he may open up everything, sample it, and then save the rest to eat later to have for another meal. But the other things that came with the Spanish ration, non-food items, what I do is I distribute those into some of my kits. Like the foldable stove may go into an emergency kit, and along with the fuel tablets, I have the toothpaste and toothbrush in. I got a toothbrush out of a breakfast ration, and then each Spanish ration comes with a little packet of toothpaste and a packet of hand sanitizer and 2 water purification tablets. I save all those, and those go into kits. So none of those things get thrown out. I only get rid of the trash. Yep, that is Art and his wife Nina. And they do reviews on their own channel. Sometimes people will send them a ration to review. Art does most of the reviewing because of Nina's food issues. And she explains all that, and Art explains all that. She has to avoid certain things. But she does a lot of the camera work for them, except when she's away on business, because she has a side business where she does business consulting for, entrepreneurs. And she has a YouTube channel for that. But, and then Art has another job on the side. No, it's his main job, but this company that they have. It's their second gig, but they do some good stuff. Yeah, Art was either Art or Nina or both under their YouTube channel name. They were in when I was chowing down on the Canadian ration with the sardines that came with this ration. And by the way, in case you haven't noticed, I am back over 1,000 subscribers, and I have reapplied for monetization on my channel. So I have to wait a month to find out if they will approve me for that. And so if you don't have an ad blocker running, which I do because ads will just eat up my my browser big time, so I have to block them. But if you start seeing ads on my channel, if I'm approved for monetization, then I can actually start getting a little coin. I was monetized before YouTube changed the eligibility requirements. And now I have met those requirements. I just have to wait a month while they review my channel, which I think kind of stinks. So I just hope that I don't get copyright strikes on my own content. And yes, I do check every one of my videos for copyright strikes on my own content. I don't use music unless I'm shooting a video in a place where there is music in the area, and I have no choice but to have, but to have it show up. And I don't want to mute when I'm shooting when there's music, because it's just there, and just have to deal with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days YouTube starts dropping copyright strikes on totally original content. Yes, rations can be expensive, but sometimes you can find some deals. And when I ordered this Spanish ration and the Lithuanian ration, I was sent the Canadian ration with the main missing as a freebie. I just called it a late birthday present since my birthday was last month. I ordered these at the end of last month so that I could have them for review this month. And they always pack their stuff well. And I have a ton of those Postal Service bubble mailers to prove it. Oh, yes, they are. They're a great present. And if you buy one of those ammo can packages from Foreign MRE, you're actually getting a discount on the ration, because you're getting a bundle and you get one of these awesome sports. Some you can get a t-shirt. And of course, you specify your t-shirt size when you order those. And you get stickers and magnets. And some you can get, depending on which one you can get 1, 2, or even 3 rations, especially if you get the 50 cal ammo can. There's one where you get an Australian CR1M in a 50 cal ammo can, along with these other goodies. So if you're looking to buy an ammo can and a ration, you can do it all in one shot and get a bonus spork and stickers and magnets. And so that's a pretty good deal. And I used the ammo can that I got for just for storage of the small items that I want to keep clean and safe. You could use them to store medicines. You could store your coin collection in. You can store fire starters in. You can store, all kinds of stuff. And they're not just for ammo anymore. But foreign rations are a great way to sample food from other countries without having to go there. I'm going for some more of the pate. So I thought maybe I would have a few more viewers at this time, but maybe Tuesdays are kind of busy for some people. But that's okay. If I just have one viewer when I'm doing this, it's still watch time for me. And people can always catch it later. I don't announce when I'm gonna go live. I just do it. I do like these meatballs. Would have been nice to have a few more peas with them, though. But, and the peas are almost mush. But that's okay. I'll still eat them. One of my favorite rations so far was the French RCIR that had the ostrich in it. Actual ostrich meat. It's a dark meat, as dark as beef, probably the color of duck. And it's not, I just can't describe the taste of it, but it tastes more like a beef or something like that than a bird. But it had vegetables with it. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, roughly 10, 12 peas. That's usually what you get in these little 200-gram cans. And all this broth. I do like this Canadian sports drink, though. It's not too sweet. It has a good orange flavor. Artificial, of course, but it reminds me of Tang. but not as sweet as Tang. Would have been nice if there were more vegetable pieces in this soup than just the croutons. But that's okay. And if it's a little less salty, I'd be happy with that, but it's still going down the hatch. But these Spanish ration boxes are really, really nice. This is from a different ration. I got rid of that one that all this stuff came out of because it had all of that residue from the busted fuel tablet. But these are great for mailing items. So yeah, these are pretty sturdy little boxes. So I keep these. And if I need to mail something that fits in this box, and I did that, I used one of these to mail something to someone in a Facebook group. There was is a knife group that I'm in, Jimmy Slash's Facebook knife group, and there was kind of like a gift exchange in December, and I had sent someone an Opinel knife. I got a set of 3 green Opinel number 8s, and I sent one to the person that I was chosen to send a gift to, and I included a little flashlight. And I got an Ontario Rat 1, which is a knife that I had been wanting to get for a while, but just hadn't done it. And I got a flashlight. So I thought that was pretty darn cool when I send a knife and a flashlight, and I get a knife and a flashlight. Oh, emu, that would be interesting. I think what would also be interesting would be to actually have the egg from those birds. I bet those emu eggs would be just as hard to crack as an ostrich egg. You almost need a drill. I'm just going to finish off this pate. Would have been nice if this had a little more pimento in it, but that's okay. I bet that emu farm would be fun to take kids to, so they could see something that is not typical here in the States. Or in Canada, for that matter. Sorry, I just wanted to finish that off. They could, either that or ostrich if they really wanted to go big. But when I go to the Iowa State Fair in August, I didn't do that this last time because I was going with my one of my sisters and my great niece and my mom, and I was basically just tailing them and not going off on my own. But there is someone who comes and brings ostrich eggs and jerky and meat sticks and other things like that to show people what the ostrich egg is like and how big it is. And, you can buy the meat products, but that was pretty cool to see how big those eggs are. This drinking jar I've had for quite some time. I probably had it maybe at least 20 years. I think my parents gave it to me, as they at the time, they knew that I liked some weird stuff, so they gave me this drinking jar. I never got a lid with it, but that's okay. I just think it's fun and funky. You don't see these too often. But I wanted to put the soup in there so that would be easier to show what the soup is like. So, for anyone who just came in, I just nearly finished off a Spanish ration that I had taken the sardines out to put with the Canadian ration that had the main stolen by customs. So the sardines were my main for that ration last week when I reviewed that Canadian ration. So I had the beef meatballs. I had a little bit of rice in it with a few peas, some liver pate with a tiny bit of pimento. This was a vegetable soup with the croutons. All the croutons are gone. It's like a bouillon with some herbs and little croutons, and then the fruit cocktail. And the Canadian orange drink, I substituted that for the vitamin C hydration powders that were in the Spanish ration. I just didn't want to be bothered with those. So in the Canadian ration, you usually get 2 of the same drink powder, so I decided to go ahead and use a second orange drink today. I figured it'd be a good thing to have with all the stuff that was in this Spanish ration. The soup is gone. Now I just have the fruit cocktail left. And this had a lot more cherries. This probably had like 7 cherries in it. In a 200-gram can. That was more than you get in a typical 15-ounce fruit cocktail can here. Unless you get the very cherry one. This fruit is a little dark. Even for a 2018 production. When I had this fruit cocktail from another Spanish ration, it wasn't this dark. and it didn't have this many cherries. So I feel like I hit cherry pay dirt with this one. Hello, Simply Means. Welcome to my stream. I'm just about done with my lunch. I haven't been looking at the participants list to see what time people came in during my stream, but in case you just came in, this was a Spanish ration. Had peas and meatballs, more like meatballs and a few peas, liver pate with pimento. There was a can of sardines and tomato sauce, but I ate that with the Canadian ration last week because the Maine got stolen by customs. I really wanted that macaroni and beef. That would have been awesome to try. Maybe I'll get lucky and get that. And fruit cocktail. A vegetable flavored bouillon soup with tiny croutons in it. And a Canadian orange sports drink. So this is my lunch. And yeah, it's a pretty good one. I'm using my foreignmre.com spork. Spanish rations do not come with a utensil. The soldiers would have been issued, or they have to supply their own. They're probably issued a set similar to, I have a Polish military utensil set. There's Germans have their own set. There's some you can get for that go with the USGI mess kits. And some other countries have their own utensil sets that they would be issued. But I use my foreign MRE spork. If a ration comes with a utensil, I don't use it. I use this instead. And I have another one. I bought a ammo can gift box that had 2 rations in it. And it had another one of these sporks. And that I'm saving as a gift for someone. And that someone doesn't know because I'm not going to say the name. But yeah, I'm just finishing up this fruit cocktail. Well, since I don't add salt to anything, this that soup is a bit salty, but I think I added a little extra water to kind of water it down so it's not quite so bad. But I'm not really bothered by it. But when I get those few times that I do get a US MRE, other than that brown bag one, because I didn't use that old ration heater, I boiled that main. It was a 1993 that Old Smoky sent me. But I put salt in the ration heater bags. Or if I don't have a ration heater, or it's a very new one that I don't think it would need the salt to help kick it off. Chinese ones don't need salt. They launch like a rocket. But I save all those salt packets because they can be good for camping. I have the French and some others have pepper, and the U.S. halal MREs have pepper in it, which I think the other U.S. MRE should have pepper in it. not just the salt, because pepper would really kick things up a notch or three. But yeah, that I save all those packets. I can take them camping, throw a few in a bag, Ziploc bag, and I'm gone. Of course, I have to have a driver whenever I want to go camping somewhere because I don't drive. Well, you can make your own MRE with those store-bought items. In fact, Polly MRE reviews, sometimes he does that. He saves the unused components from the rations he reviews. He combines them with little single-serving packages of different things that he gets from local stores in his and he makes his own ration packs, and then he actually does a review on his own ration packs that he makes. But he also makes them to take when he goes on little trips. If he wants to go to an air show, or he wants to go, he likes airplanes. He used to work at a military base as a civilian employee. So he sometimes will go to air shows. He goes to train. He likes trains, so he's nearby a train station. So he might go and just watch the trains, and he'll take some food and just have a good old time. But he makes his own ration packs, and he keeps one in his car for like emergency use in case he gets stuck and has to have some food on him. So that's one thing you can do, is make your own ration for a camping trip or hiking, or just having in an emergency vehicle bag. Yeah, Polly is good stuff. He has good stuff. In fact, he just had a giveaway. He gave away a US MRE, which he bought from someone in England through online, and he is shipping it to someone here in the States. So an American one is giveaway. So he also has a model building video series of building a train car, from a kit. So Polly has a variety on his channel, and of course his rabbit Bob is a trip. And what I'm thinking of doing, if this Lithuanian ration has those Panzer waffles, as some call those special biscuits, instead of eating those myself, I think I might send those to him, because his rabbit Bob likes those. Those chompers can really munch down on those really hard crackers. So Polly feeds those special biscuits to him, because he has a hard time biting into those things. But yeah, that rabbit loves them. I like them too, but I think I'll share them if I get them this time. Oh yeah, he has, if you look on his channel, I think he put them in a playlist. But if not, you can scroll through his video library and see his model building videos. And he also has been putting together replica K-rations. He has the components necessary to put together a replica K-ration. He has gotten wrappers, he has gotten boxes, and he will find items that will fit inside those, or just put the boxes together, or put the wrappers on something to have the appropriate shape, and he will have a replica K-ration. And he's got some videos on those too. So those would be worth checking out. You go to his channel or even some of the other channels, find out other things that they do besides rations. You know, Dave's 45 Auto, as you can tell by his channel logo, it's the back end of a bullet. So he does that kind of stuff occasionally. And then Nathan's MRE, he has a couple of automotive channels. His DIY garage, and then he has a brand specific channel. I think it's BMW that he's works on. I don't know if he has one of his own that he works on, or he fixes up other people's BMWs. But yeah, he has that, and some of the other channels, they do other stuff besides rations also. And speaking of, when I finish this one, which I probably will pretty soon, since I'm basically done with my meal, I'm just finishing off my drink, I will put this one in my ration playlist. And that helps people find all my ration videos. And my phone just told me that it needs juice, so I need to go ahead and shut this thing down and plug it in so I can juice it up, because my Galaxy S5 is what I do my video shooting on. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. Again, thanks for watching, and of course, link to Foreign MRE, their website, and their YouTube channel will be down there in the description in a bit. So, and thanks for hanging out with me during my lunch, and catch you on the flip side.